Hello, I'm Lineke Lijn and I'm going to draw a dugout and going to follow the tutorial that Bill Flowers is given, also known as the snake artist from Australia. And we've become friends on YouTube, and Bill is going to draw one of my tutorials and make his own one about it, and I'm going to draw along with his tutorial about the dugout. So this way we've become friends on YouTube, and we want to give attention to each other's channel. So please enjoy this beautiful snake, the dugout. Have fun!
Today we're going to draw the dugout. Now the dugout is this gorgeous, beautiful snake. It's sometimes called the spotted brown snake. It's got these little spots, or I think they're more like speckles all through it. And that just adds to the beauty of this gorgeous creature. So get out your pencil, get out your paper, whatever you're going to make a mark with, and start drawing with me. I'm just going to do a nice oval shape here. There's going to be a portrait of this snake. I don't know if you can see that, because I'm doing it very, very lightly. Darken it up a bit so you can see it. And that's sort of the head shape. Bit of a neck here, bit of a lower jaw here, a neck there. So I'm just, using fairly free lines here. I put a line pretty much halfway in that oval, and under that a circle. The dugout has nice big bold eyes. Now down here I'm trying to get the shape of this snake. I'm just putting in a few lines. These aren't going to be actual scales, these are just sort of guidelines for me, just working out the actual shape of this animal. So these are the construction lines, the guidelines. This is how I start a drawing. Drawing's made up of three parts in my experience. There's the guidelines, there's the shading, and then there's what I call symbols. So some shading is going to go here. This is where I hold my pencil like this. Get more lead there. Contact in the paper, and just very, very gently colour this bit in, and here under that circle, and a bit down here. You have that coloured in. Also under the eye scale here, another bit that's shaded in, darkening around here. I'll pop the eye in first, I think. Now, one of the features of this snake is that you just get like a little bit of a rim of colour. They do have very large eyes, but you get the colour of the eye just around the black pupil there, and it's going to be there. Again, I'm just going to shade in a little bit here, so we can go back over the shading and shade it in more. I'm going to put a wiggly shape there and colour that in. So that wiggly shape I put in there, this is sort of like what I mean by symbols. An artist has so many symbols in his mind that he uses to describe things. And the more you draw, especially drawing from real life, the more symbols that you'll pick up, which comes with experience. So it's good to start off with things like how to draw books, but then it's good to move on and draw from real life. Now it's going to darken it here a bit. I'll make this light bit around the dark very, very narrow. Again, it's just a feature of this animal. It's got almost like a thin, narrow ring of gold, or a deep orange gold. Okay, now just a hard line above there like that. So I'll work around his eye. Bit of shade back here. These guys like to wear lots of mascara, especially the pretty Sheila snakes like this. Now there's a little bit of a dip in the scales there. I'm going to go across here. There's like a scale above the eye there, scale above the eye there. and there's a scale between them. So I'm going to mark those in. So here's the first scale above the eye, and next we have a bit of a shield pattern here. Now notice this is very similar with a lot of snakes. Now this scale here, we want to make it curve a bit like this, because the other scales either side are going to flatten down, so that makes it look raised up. So that's the eye on the other side of this animal. Next we have 1, 2, 3, 4 scales here. Again, common with lots of snakes, not just Oseolapids, but yeah, I've seen king snakes, and snakes on the other side of the world also have these sort of, 1, 2, 3, 4. They have like a scale above the eye, they have a scale between. Sometimes this eye scale can be broken up. Here we go, that's got to go there like that, so it's going halfway between that and that. That has to be bigger than that, it has to be wider, or it's not going to look right. Next we're going to have the next two, so it's almost like a cross there, and you have 4 scales. But in this case, these ones are a little bit smaller, because this snake has a really big scale at the front here. A scale in here, which comes down to this point, and another scale around here like this. Now I'm going to put in a nostril. Okay, just like that. Now here we go. So just bear with me. A few more important scales to go. Starting to go to the upper lip one now. Right at the front here, they have a scale, the rostral scale, and on the dugite it's rather large. Now there's a little dip there, and all snakes on their rostral scale have a little dip there for the tongue to come in and out of. I'm going to put the other nostril scale over here. A bit of shade there, but this here, from here to here, is wider on the dugite than most snakes. So it's one of the features. When you're drawing a snake, you've got to look for the features that separates it from other snakes. If you want to do it species specific, you've got to make sure you get all those little tricky bits in that other snakes don't have. As I say, this is fairly common. You got your eye scale, I'll make that one in a bit. You've got one between, and then on a lot of snakes, usually back here, you've got divided 2 big, like solar panels. I call them solar panels. On the diurnal snakes, the snakes that come out during the day, they pop their head out of their burrows or out from where they've been hiding at night, and they get a bit of sunlight on their head first, and so having a nice big scales like this helps to warm up real quick. But then again, all these other ones work as well too. They're just broken up for movement. So under the eye we have just a line going down like that. Okay? This is going to be breaking up of the scales. Going to do a shape like this. Going to get this one here to here, another one, and here. Join that up there. So we have fairly large scales. This is a very large scaled snake. Okay, here. Going from here to here. Because the larger the scales, I sometimes find that easier. But you can't just do a crisscross and think you're going to get away with it. You have to draw in every scale. So this scale here goes on like this, but it dips down there. And you probably shouldn't be too obsessed about getting things absolutely perfect, because there's not many people going to come along and count all the scales. I tend to like to get things as perfect as I possibly can, because every now and again you get somebody who will come along and count all your scales, especially some zoologists, especially some herpetologists. But still, you've got to draw for fun as well. Bottom one, we're going to put a little bit of shade here like this. That come around here so it disappears under there a bit. Here, break it up. It's really good to sort of see that these scales don't line up with the ones up there, otherwise it would look a bit wrong. Okay, good sized scales. It's looking intense. Darken this up a bit. Well, hey, look at that. Now I'm going to go on to a usual trick that I use here. I'm going to do some scales there because it just look good. So where I'm going to do the rows of scales, I've just got here some lines. I'm going to thin out a bit here. I'm going to make my old famous brick wall, which I discovered way back in the 90s. It's a really good way of drawing snakes. Scales around here are pretty short, so it's going to be like a short, fat brick wall. If you've got a little bit of drawing experience, you can see what I'm doing here. And I'm going to make the bricks go around here like this. Those bricks are going to come around here like this. And I need more lines here. Lovely brick wall. Now, replace each one of those bricks with a sort of, it's almost like a diamond shape, like this is a bare diamond shape, but we're going to make it rounded, a rounded diamond shape, and they all sort of tend to interlock together a little bit, which is nice. So this side of the bricks, they sort of swell out a bit. I don't want it to look too much like diamond shapes, then it'll look a bit more like a tiger snake. We don't want that, because this is our dugite. Most feared snake in the Perth region of Western Australia.
Well, I'm taking over here. Thank you, Bill, so much for your tutorial. And I'm getting in all the skills here. So thank you so much. And thank you so much for inviting me for the collaboration. And I'm taking over here with drawing the dugite. And I'm getting the scales all set up here. And I'm pausing my computer to watch the dugite, because now I want to draw in some grasses. I want to have that dugite come out of the grass, and I will be drawing in a little bit of shadow and give it some, well, horror look maybe. And I'm putting in the shadow so the head will pop out from the grass. And I'm using a grayish paper. Bill is doing his dugite on a simple white paper and graphite. I'm using a gray paper and a dark brown color pencil. And what I saw is now and then that snake had his tongue out. And I thought that would be really nice to draw in. And when you're drawing along with a tutorial of whatever artist, you can always go on and do your own thing with it. So Bill is doing that with one of my dragons, and I'm doing this with this beautiful animal, the dugite. And what I'm doing here is I'm drawing in with some white color pastel the ground around the snake head, and I'm putting in the whitest whites, so inside of the eye, around the pupil, and the sun that is hitting the ground, I just draw that around the head of the snake. And I also thought it would be nice to draw the shadow of the tongue. So I'm simply putting some white around that to make that shadow pop out. For the grass, I'm also using that pastel pencil. It will not grasp everywhere because the brown color pencil is greasy and the pastel is a powder. So I thought that would be a nice effect. And it's an underlayment for the color I will be putting over it. Now on the head itself also there is some sun hitting our snake. So I'm simply putting in the lightest colors on the snake head. And it's very nice because the brown lines will stay put. that I've drawn along with your tutorial, and the white pastel simply blends in between those lines. So that's a nice effect, I thought. Here on the side I put in a little bit of highlights, and underneath the shadow I put in now with a little bit of black. And I also use the black color pencil for the pupil itself. I want it to be shiny, and indeed he has a marvelous, beautiful eye. So I'm taking a close look at the picture that you have of that dug-eyed. And here I'm putting in the 2 brown scales with my dark brown color pencil, and also those spots that you talked about. It's also known as the brown spotted snake, and what I have read about it on the internet, it's very poisonous, but it's also very shy. It will never attack a human unless it's cornered or something, but it's a real shy, nice animal. Now I'm putting over the snake a yellow ochre, also a color pencil. It easily blends in with the white pastel, and also a little bit of purple. It's the colors that I see back in the background. I noticed a lot of white, light ochre and that purple. Of course, the snake artist can see those snakes in the wild, live, and I have to depend on pictures, which is always a little bit harder, but I'm trying my best here. So for the last details I use my black color pencil to really get that mouth pop up in front. The shadow underneath between the grass has to be the darkest, and I'm using a blender stick to fade out the surrounding around the head of the snake. Take that a little bit white and then blend that in. So, well, this is my impression of the dug-eyed. I hope it's a little bit correct, Bill. And I will be signing this up, putting your name on it too. Thank you for this invite, and for all my viewers. I hope to see you again in one of my other videos. Take care. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my tutorial, and please check out Bill's channel, the snake artist all the way from Australia. Greetings from Holland. Bye bye, Bill. And I pronounce my name one more time for you. It's Lineke Line. Bye bye.